Let me read what you have said. The news is broken, but we figured out how to fix it. It's a lofty claim.
It certainly is. We were doing a crowdfunding campaign because we wanted to raise money from the public to support the new venture. And so we wanted a big, bold claim to get people's attention. And I do feel like, particularly online, people do feel like something's not quite right, something's broken.
Well, something is very broken, and we are attacked daily and remorselessly by the most powerful leader in the Western world, or in the world, which is the President of the United States. So you've kind of answered the question about how do you pay for it. So this is not about ads, it's not about paywalls?
That's right, yeah. So we're launching with no ads and no paywall. I've been joking, it's a series of bad business decisions, but that's how I've made my career. And we really want the readers to support. We think that's a really important part of online journalism that's been missing for a long time, which is what has led us really down an unhealthy path of clickbait headlines and ever lower quality sort of fluff and nonsense. And that model just isn't working online.
This year, Edelman, the survey, found that trust in the media across 28 countries is at an all-time low, 43%. Also found that online search engines were deemed more reliable than traditional media, which is a reversal from 5 years ago. And then, you know, another index, the World Press Freedom Index, says that nearly two-thirds, 62.2% of countries measured, have registered a deterioration in media freedom over the last year.
Yeah. You know, the overall situation that all media organizations are facing in Turkey is quite dire, but that's also, as you say, it's part of a broader trend around the world, and even in the U.S., where we have the great strength of the First Amendment, but we're still seeing a lot more harassment of journalists, a lot more, arrests of journalists who are just trying to cover a story. Maybe you can't convict them for what they write, but you can sure make their job harder.
Let's get back to Wiki Tribune, I think it's called, right? The new venture that you want, the new project. Describe what you meant by a filter bubble.
Yeah, so the issue of filter bubble is most prominent, I would say, in Facebook. You read the news that's shared by your friends tend to be similar to you with similar outlooks, and so you end up with this worldview that's shaped more and more by a certain small set of ideas, small set of publications, which is very dangerous. And people have been talking about this idea for years, back when blogs were, everybody was all about blogs. And I said, it's not a problem with blogs. I read a lot of blogs, and a lot of bloggers, they link to things they disagree with just so they can argue about it, right? And so you are getting exposed to both sides of the argument. That's what it's about. But with the filter bubble, maybe, if the only thing I'm ever seeing in my news feed is The Guardian and The New York Times, my worldview may be very different from someone who's only seeing Breitbart and Fox News. And we may have a completely different understanding of the world that's not healthy for either of us.
I want to ask you then about how your volunteers may rub away those sort of partisan edges. I think that a Harvard Business School study found that the Wikipedia articles are as neutral as Encyclopedia Britannica, but also that the 2.8 million volunteer Wikipedia editors reviewing the articles become less biased over time.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, and it's a really great community, and what happens is, because we have certain policies around neutrality, neutral point of view, it's a fundamental core policy of Wikipedia. Obviously, it's an aspiration, just as any journalist aspires to that, but sometimes you miss it and so forth. Which means that the community is always very reflective, and if someone comes in and says, "Oh, hey, you're not reporting," just because you don't like Donald Trump, you should also say, "Hey, actually, whatever, the job figures are better this year than under Obama." Maybe that's not true, and then people have to sort of grapple with that and say, "Okay, right." And so we want to have a diversity of sources. We want to be thoughtful and reflective, and so the community members who are working on that sort of thing get exposed to other ideas. And because we really push, and our community really pushes to say, let's have a civil dialogue and a debate, no personal attacks. It's not about insulting other people. And this is very different from most online forums where, it really is just sort of attack.
And in the cable sphere as well. And you're trying to get more neutrality, less partisanship, and break through this wall of fake news that at least... Yeah. The accusation of fake news.
One of the things that struck me before I launched this is I was looking at on the Reddit, very popular discussion website, and there's a subreddit called The Donald. It's a lot of Donald Trump fans. So I go there sometimes to see what they're thinking and so on. And somebody was complaining about this biased story, could have been CNN somewhere. They said, what we need is a Wikipedia of news. And I thought, oh, well, that's interesting, that very different politics from mine, from yours, but they thought, we just need facts. And I think a lot of people feel that way on the right, on the left, on everywhere, this idea of, where is the Walter Cronkite? Where is something that we can all trust to say, this is the facts, and now we can have all the policy debates you want. That's perfectly fine. That's democracy.
I think you just hit the nail on the head with the facts. The facts is what we need, and people are getting away from that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can imagine my frustration, when Kellyanne Conway said alternative facts, and this idea that we're in a post-truth world, and it's like, 16 years I've spent my life giving you all a fact-based encyclopedia. You can't say, and it's incredibly public. People do want facts. There is a demand for it. People really do care. Right now, when people say the trust in journalism at all-time low, they're not expressing we don't care about journalism anymore. They're saying something here is not working. Like, we really want to get back to quality. And I think that's something that all outlets should be listening to.
Well, good luck. Good luck. Jimmy Wales, thank you so much.
Great.